Hello everyone, welcome to Edge 5, and thank you very much for getting up really early on a Saturday morning. I've had a number of complaints this morning about what time the conference started from people who obviously didn't check the schedule before they signed up. So yes, I do know what time it is, and I'm sorry. But hopefully it'll be worth it. So in the 3 years we've run Edge, there have actually come to be quite a number of things called Edge. So for the purposes of disambiguation, this is not the Adobe product line called Edge. It is not the Akamai conference called Edge. It is also not related to the new Microsoft Edge web browser, nor is it the Edge Web Summit for the Edge web browser, nor is it the IBM Infrastructure Innovation Conference called Edge. And it's definitely not this public service delivery conference in Edinburgh, although if you go to this conference, you do get a free pen, which I'm afraid we can't promise you here. So, our Edge is a vendor-independent, full-stack web conference with a difference. We started Edge because we wanted something between an unconference and a traditional web conference. So at an unconference, you don't know what your program is until your attendees arrive to provide it. And at a traditional web conference, the opportunities for people to interact and get involved with the program are fairly limited. At Edge, we carefully choose experts, and we bring them onto the stage to start discussion on the topics that we've curated. But really, this event belongs to you, and it doesn't work without your participation. So these are the topics we're going to talk about today, and here's how we're going to organize the day. So this morning we have 4 hour-long sessions. They're going to be panels in this room, the traditional style that we've done at previous EdgeConfs. Then we'll have lunch, and after lunch we'll split into 5 tracks for breakout sessions. Some of the breakouts will dive even deeper into topics discussed in the panels. Others focus on other areas of the web platform which are developing quickly. We've chosen to talk about technologies and ideas that are still fluid, so you have a real opportunity to shape how the web develops. So in total, we have 3 types of session today. We have panels, and these will start with a quick 10-minute opening talk from one of the panelists. We will then move into a debate where we have pre-selected the questions, so you don't need to think of questions to ask the panel. You need to think about what your opinions are on those topics so that you can contribute to the debate. The moderator will ask those questions to the room. We have around 7 minutes of debate on each question, and then we move on to the next one. Panelists will be jumping in at any time with their opinions. If you folks want to jump in with yours, then you can use Slack. We have a speaker queue that you can join by typing /Q. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. So when you are participating in the debates, a couple of tips for you. Please stand up, because we have some camera operators who will want to find you, and they can find you much more easily if you're stood up. Again, don't feel the need to ask questions. At a lot of panel events, it's a Q&A format where people feel it's rude to ask a question because they feel like, you know, if they just give an opinion, if they have an opinion worth listening to, they should be on the panel. And that's really a silly idea, because the idea that there's only 6 people who have a valid opinion about a subject and they're on the stage is kind of limiting. So we think everyone in the room has a valid opinion on all of these topics, and we really want to hear it. Try and keep it short. 30 seconds is good. If you're speaking for more than a minute, we're probably getting bored. So, try and limit that. If you don't want to speak, then don't worry. There is a Slack back channel. So every session has a channel in Slack. If you haven't joined it yet, I'll give you some details on how to do that in a second. Every session starts with a panel dash or breakout dash, and there's one for every session today. And as I said, everyone is here to contribute. We want to try and get everyone who comes to Edge to be a contributor to Edge, not just an attendee. So try and find a way that you can be part of that. Second type of session we're running today is a breakout. Now we have 5 rooms with very varying capacities and varied layouts. And they're all equipped with AV, stationery, flip charts, all the sorts of things that you need to have a productive discussion. Please arrive early at breakouts if you want, particularly if you want to go to some of the smaller ones, because once the room is full, we can't let anyone else into the room. So to avoid disappointment, please make sure you arrive at breakouts early. There is at least a 10-minute gap between every breakout, so you should have enough time to get there. And as with the panels, there's a Slack channel for every breakout, so you can, if you can't get a word in edgeways, or if you don't want to speak up, then you can put your thoughts into Slack, and the moderator or the breakout host will see that. At the end of the day, we have a keynote. We've considered having a keynote before, and I wanted to do something a bit different to keynotes that I've seen, because we do everything differently at Edge. And I really like the way that O'Reilly have short keynotes at conferences like OSCON and Velocity. Something that's kind of a TED Talk length is a good length for something high level, I think. And it should be something thought-provoking with broad appeal to the whole audience, something interesting that perhaps you wouldn't normally spend a lot of time thinking about. And of course, Edge is a mentally tough conference anyway, so we wanted to end on something that would be a thoughtful diversion from the heavily technical topics of the day. So we considered a lot of possible options, and I'm really pleased to say that Debbie Wasco has agreed to deliver the keynote today on the rise of the sharing economy. So the sharing economy is companies like Uber, TaskRabbit, Airbnb, DogBuddy, who are actually looking after my dog today, BlaBlaCar, and so on. And they are technology companies who are not just taking over the web and hiring a lot of engineers from our community, but they're creating entire new markets. They're having a profound effect on the economy and a huge and sometimes controversial social impact as well. So understanding how the web should develop for the future, I think, includes understanding its key use cases. And few are growing as fast as those in sharing economy businesses. So I'm looking forward to hearing about that later on today. Finally, some logistics. We have Wi-Fi. Anyone who's not connected to the Wi-Fi yet, those are the details, and you'll find those on posters around the venue as well. Everything else you need, other than the Wi-Fi details, obviously, are going to be on the Edge Hub. So if you remember one URL, remember edgeconf.com/hub. As I said before, we're doing a lot of stuff via Slack this time around. So to join our Slack, you can visit edgeconfslack.herokuapp.com. Once you're on Slack, there are a few commands that you can try out. So /q will join the speaker queue. We have Edge Now and Edge Next if you want to interrogate the schedule. And if you want to send us feedback at any time, you can do Edge feedback and just drop in a line of text. Please don't do that to tell us things like, the room is too hot, which is probably what you're all doing right now. Because we probably won't read that feedback until the end of the day. So if you have things that you need instantly actioned, then you can drop into the lobby channel or private message one of the organizers. Incidentally, we do know that the room is really hot, and we're working on that. But apparently it takes a very long time to cool this room down. So speaking of channels, we have a channel for every session. We also have two general channels, the lobby, where everyone can just pitch in with anything off topic, it's fine, and the announcements channel, which will just be for organizers to put out announcements if we need to change the location of a breakout or tell you that a room is full or something like that. So keep an eye on both of those channels as the day goes on. Now, we decided some time ago that this would be a good idea. So rather than doing mic running today, we've actually bought a number of throwable microphones. And so when the moderator says who they want to speak next, if you stand up, whoever's got the microphone will throw it to you. Please throw it to the person, not at the person. And be aware that they cost about £400 each. So underarm is the way to go, I think. At the end of the day, we're going to ask everyone to fill in the feedback form. Please do that. It doesn't take you very long. It takes you a lot less time to fill in the feedback form than it does for us to put on the event. And if you fill the feedback form in, you'll get entered into a prize draw to win a year's subscription to Adobe Creative Cloud. We also have a set of 3 prizes from Facebook of $750 PARS credit and a Jambox, which we'll be giving to people based on the number of contributions you make on the day. And that will be measured by your interactions in Slack. And all of the proceeds of the event today are being donated to Code Club, and I'll give some more details about that and exactly how much we've raised for Code Club at the end of the day. So, finally, photos, please feel free to take them and post them, but only in the rooms that we're actually using for EdgeConf. So you do not have a license to randomly wander around Facebook taking photos of things. But in this room and in all of the session rooms, that's absolutely fine. Please do tag them so that we can find them, we can aggregate them together. And also be aware that we're live streaming this event, so you might be on camera anytime.